Welcome in, everybody. Ty Bartel, Anthony Hartwig with a very special edition of a softball state send-off for three YSN teams that are going to be heading to the state Final Four. And as DJ put in a story posted earlier today and so eloquently put, we're living in the good times right now as far as talent and teams are in the area. And I mean, just to quickly talk about these three teams, and the journeys, the stories of how they got there. We're going to be featuring coaches. We're going to be featuring players, concluding with a roundtable of all three of these teams' pitchers. But just talk about these three teams real quickly and just their journey getting to where they are now at the state Final Four level.
Yeah, and all three of these teams were in this position last year too. So it's really remarkable the age that we're in, and all three programs have been really good for a consistent amount of time. And we have other softball programs in the area that are the same way. You know, Matthews is there. I know they're not a YSN family school yet, but they're representing our area, and they've been to state plenty of times. And Champion has won plenty of state championships in the last decade. So DJ's story nailed it on the head. Like right now, especially since you could say maybe 2010. The era of Northeast Ohio athletics is really in its golden age.
Well, we're going to feature three teams: the Fitch Falcons from Division I, the Canfield Cardinals from Division II, and the South Range Raiders from Division III. Without further ado, I say we get right into it. We're going to go into the coaches' interviews, and we're going to be starting things off with the Canfield Cardinals skipper, Coach Kernan, joining us first and foremost. Coach, how are we doing today?
I'm doing awesome. Thanks for having me.
Coach, I like that we're in the late night. You're still in the Canfield Cardinals locker room there, and we love you representing. My first question for you, man, is this has been, on the goal board of this team all season. Get back to state, get back to this round. What has it been like navigating all year and now finally getting back to this point?
It's interesting you say that. We talked to the kids today. We said we put ourselves in this position to give ourselves another chance. But it started in November, October. These kids put the time in and worked their tails off all off season. And again, we're here now, just fortunate enough and thankful to have the opportunity at hand.
Talk about just last season, the way last season ended. You guys were right on the doorstep to it. It's a heartbreaker, but for the girls that returned, it seemed like this Cardinals team out of the jump was hungry, and they were playing like they were hungry to get back there. What was the hunger level like for these girls being so close to accomplishing that dream and being able to will themselves back to this state Final Four level?
I think at this point right now, that's a positive factor for us. I mean, they had the experience last year. I could see that bitter taste in their faces of that loss from last year. Even this week at practice, it's kind of a good thing to see they're locked in, a little focused, and our schedule and everything just helped us get to this point. And we talked about, playing Fitch early, was that a good thing? Was that a bad thing? Looking back now, hindsight, everyone said, I can't believe you guys are playing Fitch that first game of the year. You know what? That first loss of the year gave us a great measuring stick of where we needed to be out of the gate. And the kids responded all year.
Coach, we know how hungry the returners are. I'm wondering what you saw all year from the new faces, the people that stepped into the roles that last year's seniors left, and how they matched all the energies of the returning players that were hungry to get to state, and what you've seen from them all year.
Their experience, their season, they matured, and they carried that over. I mean, they carried it over in the off season, then when we picked up the basketball players, you saw them maturing during the season. I mean, to the point where we are right now. I mean, in the locker room or in our facility, you just see these kids. It's in their eyes. They know what they want, and it's been a maturing process all year. They've done an incredible job.
Talk to me about what you got in the circle with Milena Toth. I know we're going to be having her featured as the main event tonight, but a pitcher that's able to get a team to the state Final Four, not just once, but twice. It doesn't happen too often. Talk about how special she is and what she means to this team day in and day out, and how she's able to help elevate you guys to that level.
It's not easy getting there once, let alone getting there twice. and we have 4 teams in it and 3 teams repeating. That's just incredible. I'm just blessed as a coach to have a Milena Toth in the mound on my roster as I came into Canfield last year. And she adapted to myself and believed in me and trusted me, and she's pitching to her ability, and it's just been a blessing from a coach's standpoint.
Then we transition from in the circle to your offense. Maybe not the highest scoring team in the state, but man, when they need runs, this offense really comes through with them. Clutch situations, you can count on anyone 1 through 9. What's it been like to see the growth of your bats and the lineup and how they always come through in high pressure situations?
Again, that's their seasoning and they're maturing, I'd say. I went back to a game we played down in Myrtle Beach where we run-rolled the Louisville, South Carolina team, and here they were. I think they ended up 28-4 and won the Division I state title in South Carolina. So I know the potential that's in our lineup. When we played Aurora and beat them 12-2, that's a statement in itself. I mean, Aurora is one of the best teams in the state, and they came out and did that. So they know what they're capable of, and they work hard. I can't have a group of kids that work much harder, in our hitting facility just to put that potential in front of us.
I want to talk about your upcoming opponent, the Kenton Ridge Cougars. You guys are going to be playing on Friday at 10 a.m. bright and early, but you guys get a little bit of time, a week fully to prepare for this team. What are some things that you've seen, and what are some things that you feel you guys are going to need to bring to get the job done and get to that final game of the season?
Keep playing like we're playing. Keep our composure. Keep our hunger. Keep that taste of that loss. And play within ourselves, play to our ability, play to our capability, and good things will happen. We have a very good team from all aspects, hitting, fielding, just great teammates all over the board. And if we do the little things really well and continue to pitch, defense, hit like we're capable of, we should be in pretty good shape. These opponents at this point, they're all good. You're not looking by anybody. This team brings a very talented squad defensively and hitting. So, we're going to match that with Milena Toth, and we're going to bring our own hitting and use our defense to back Milena.
Coach, talking to all of your players this year, one of the things they all said about you is how you are really good at feeding into the looseness and the fun of this game and as this team. We remember the pictures of last year's state semifinal with the backward visor and just kind of having fun with your team. How important is that for you as a coach to let them realize that you can be loose and they can go out there and have fun too?
They have to be loose. I mean, that's key. You need to see that little intensity, that little focus, but they also have to have that looseness to them. And they got me at the regional championship with that bucket of water that we saw. I appreciated it. I try to give them I think I ran out of bad jokes. They quit laughing, but I don't know if they ever were laughing. So looseness is an important factor.
You talk about the girls' hunger and the want to get back there, and it's so tough when you're one game away to get back to that game that you want to so desperately get to. You're with these girls more than we are too. What would it mean to this Cardinals group to get back to that state championship game and get that opportunity to I guess right the wrongs that they felt from last year?
Yeah, they know it's the first game. Come ready. Let's take care of business this first game and then attack the second game. I mean, we've talked about that because that second game doesn't matter if we can't get through this first game. So, they know it takes 2 games, but they also know one pitch, one inning, one game at a time.
Coach, my last thing for you tonight, I want you to give you a chance to shout out this community that's followed you all year. They're going to follow you to Firestone. We know that you guys are going to turn that stadium red and black for the Cardinals at 10 a.m. on Friday. What do you love so much about these fans and this community that have backed you up for the last 2 years of this great run that you guys have had?
They've been awesome. I mean, Canfield, there's a lot of pride in Canfield. I told the girls, Canfield, you're just winners. And they are. There's something that goes with Canfield athletics. They win. It's community support. It's community pride. We had a pizza the other day for young kids. We had a 5-week camp for 3rd through 8th grade, and those responses have just been tremendous. And there's a lot of great support here, and it's appreciated.
Coach, I want to give you the opportunity to call out the Canfield community that might be thinking or on the fence of coming out to tell them why they need to pack that stadium.
Yeah, I don't think there are many of them.
I need that stadium packed. Let's get it full of red. And if you're thinking about it, don't think about it. Get there. The girls need you. We need you. Be part of the difference that wins us a championship.
I got to get a sneak preview real quick, Coach, before we let you go. What's the uni choice? What's the uni choice for the state semifinal?
I don't know what they're doing. You know what I didn't plug yet, and you're probably going to get a little later. I heard them today. They're on a revenge tour. But they do the uniforms. They wear what they're going to wear, and I don't know. I don't have insight on that.
You're going to make us wait a couple more days. That's all right. That's all right.
Coach Landis shows up. Whatever they're wearing, they're wearing.
Well, we'll wait for
absolutely.
10 a.m. on Friday, your game, Coach. We here at YSN, we're rooting for you guys hardcore. We're hoping the Canfield Cardinals get the job done and bring home that Division II state title trophy.
Thank you guys for everything. Thank you for having me, and best of luck to all the teams in our area.
Thank you for joining us, Coach, in the middle of your run, and good luck again on Friday. Well, Ed, from one coach, we're going to go one coach right into the next one, and we're not even going to waste any time. From Division II to Division III to our man, Mr. Coach DeRose, Jeff DeRose, joining us now. Coach, my man, how we doing?
I'm doing good. How about you guys?
We're doing good.
Good.
Coach, you get to play first in the area. You're the only area team that's a YSN family team that's playing on Thursday. What kind of advantage, first and foremost, do you think you have of having that one day off between semifinal and championship if you're lucky enough to win that semifinal game?
Yeah, it's huge. I know going back last year, we did lose in the semis. I believe that if we would have won, we would have had to play the next day. In 2021, we actually had to play back-to-back games. And playing back-to-back games, it was Bree Kohler, I believe, was pitching for us. It's hard to come back after a grueling hot day, if you guys can remember back then.
Right.
And having to come back and pitch a championship game the very next day is tough. So that day off, in my opinion, is huge. Jaylee does very well when she has a day's rest, and hopefully we are able to advance to Saturday and take advantage of the day off on Friday. We'll have a good practice on Friday if we're fortunate enough to.
Coach, I want to talk a little bit about Jaylee. You bring her up, and I mean, we're going to mention all these pitchers' names. They're going to be the main event. We put the pitchers a little bit on the pedestal, and I mean, with good reason. It feels like another arm that just steps up for the South Range Raiders and takes over in the circle for you guys. Talk about Jaylee, though, and what she's meant on this run, too. I mean, putting up some great performances, the great no-hitter against Champion. And, I mean, she has that ice running through her veins, it seems like. What has she meant to this Raiders program stepping up as the pitcher this year?
I mean, she's been nothing short of amazing, in my opinion. She's a junior pitcher, patiently waiting her turn to pitch. I mean, she was behind Julie and Sam the last couple of years. She got a few token innings last year, but not really any varsity experience. And I tell you what, I can't remember exact numbers win-wise, but I want to say she has 26 wins, a heck of a good ERA. And she knows she has a defense behind her, which was evident against Champion. Jaylee did throw a no-hitter because she pitched a great game, but she had great defense behind her that day.
Coach, we got your thoughts right after that Champion game when the emotions were raw and you were coming right off that walk-off. But when you look back at Jaylee's performance against that offense that has, 30-plus home runs in the season, and there were a couple of balls that, maybe were close, maybe got to the fence, but she was able to keep above their bats, get them under a lot of infield pop-ups. I think 15 out of 16 outs in play were in the air. What was she doing so well to get that powerful lineup under all of her pitches?
I mean, she's learned better recently, most recently, to hit her spots. And, we knew that they had a very potent offensive lineup. And, just making outs. I mean, her confidence, and we knew they were going to hit the ball. We prepared defensively for that. And you're right, some of those were deep to the fence, but I mean, it didn't seem like our outfield had a problem with them. But that boosted Jaylee's confidence even more in our team and our defense, especially.
The amount of regional appearances, the amount of state appearances for this program in the last 10 years has been tremendous. And I mean, it's not as easy as you guys may make it seem or make it look year in and year out. Talk to me about what goes into each and every year and how you have to press that reset button to get another team geared up to make a run like you did with this season's team.
Yeah, we set our goal every year. Like Coach Kernan just alluded to, we start our open gyms in November, and we start obviously practices third Monday of February. We set our goals pretty early, and our goal was to get back to the regional tournament, and which we obviously did. Wasn't easy to do. And then, from there, everybody, what I tell them is they have no wins and no losses, and may the better team and the team that makes the least amount of mistakes win. And that's exactly what happened. I mean, our first game against Massillon Tuslaw in the regionals was a little bit more lopsided our way. I mean, not that they're a pretty good program, but it was just more our day that day. But obviously the champion game, I think we both very much respect each other's programs. Cheryl Weaver's been putting a great product on the field over many, many years. And we've met them, ever since my daughter played a long time ago. And, it's just great respect. But, getting back to the question, our girls, met that goal and they wanted more. And, it's just evident in practice the last couple of nights. Girls are asking for more reps. They're asking to stay. They want to be where they are. And, they say two more games. So it's their desire and their hunger to be, not just regional champions, but they want that state title.
Coach, we've talked to a lot of your players the last couple of weeks and their profiles and kind of learning on, how they fell in love with the game and how they kind of grew up in this program. And there are a lot of them are pointing back to the 2016 team that went to state for the first time in the program's history, watching those players, learning from those players, and then being able to be so close to those players, coming to practices, things like that. Do you ever get time to kind of reflect and realize how important that team was to this team's success?
Yeah, as a matter of fact, Kerrigan Yannick was our pitcher in 2016, and she actually works in Madison, works with some of our girls. I mean, they taught them when they were young, and, they still work with them today in lessons and what have you. But yeah, I mean, that kind of set the precedent for our programs for the future. We made it back to the state tournament again in 2021. Hindsight, if we didn't have COVID, I thought we had a really good team that year as well. But, we were close a lot over the years. And, being there 2 years in a row, we've never done that. Very special. And, the ironic thing for me is, again, we replaced 5 starters from last year's team. And we're very young this year. We start, including our DP player, 6 sophomores. So, they got the speech tonight about, don't let the, your age or anything like that, get in your way. Don't let the venue get in your way. Go out and do what you do best, and good things will happen.
I asked a similar question to Coach Kernan. I'm going to ask you as well, Coach DeRose. You're with these girls all the time. You're with them day in and day out. You talk about November all the way until now. What would it mean for these girls? You got to win this next game to get to that state championship game. What would it mean for this group of girls to be able to say that they're playing in that state championship game, get the job done tomorrow, and play on Saturday?
It'd mean a tremendous amount, because again, I know I'm sort of repeating myself, but being a young team, I think that there were a lot of doubters out there that because we lost so many that we would not get back, and this is a quote unquote rebuilding year. It would mean a heck of a lot to them to, basically they're saying, I beg to differ. It's a rebuilding year. This is just a year we were waiting our turn because we had such a good class last year that graduated.
Coach, I gave Coach Kernan the chance to shout out their community that has supported them all season. I want to give you that chance too. How much do these fans and this community mean to this team?
Oh, we have a tremendous following as well. I mean, there are people that come to games that, that aren't even South Rangers. I mean, they come because, they love our program. They have some affiliation with South Range. Even my family comes to the games all the way back in Pennsylvania. And, it means a lot to me, means a lot to the girls. The unfortunate thing is I believe our boys are also playing tomorrow at 5:00. So, we would have a much bigger fan base there tomorrow if they weren't playing. And I know that Don Farron tried to get things moved around both on the baseball side and the softball side, was unsuccessful in doing that because there's a lot of teams that have to move things. But unfortunately, we're not going to have that following with us tomorrow. But basically I told the girls, hey, do you want that following on Saturday? You got to win tomorrow.
Coach, before we let you go, I want to give you a chance to just preview this the South Webster team. I mean, I think it was a little bit of a surprise that South Webster was matched up with you guys after the win against Wheelersburg. But what have you seen, and what is it going to take for your girls to be able to beat the South Webster squad?
Well, we got a little bit of a scouting report on them. We know their pitcher will throw anywhere, and not that we've seen this as of late. It actually makes me a little nervous, but she throws like in the lower to mid 50s. She might top out at 54, 55. We'll mix a change up here and there and a curveball. Normally pitches away. So, when we did some batting practice today and yesterday, we concentrated on those spots and that speed. But I think we're going to be able to hit her. Our girls just have to be a little bit more patient at the plate. You're going from Gabby Gradishar to her is a huge difference. But, offensively, we know they're pretty solid from 1 to 5. We don't know a whole lot about 6 through 9, but they got a couple girls that are going to put the ball out of the park, and they have a leadoff slapper that we're going to, adjust our defense a little bit for her. But other than that, yeah, I mean, it's amazing that they upset Wheelersburg. Even if you look back, Triway got upset by a team that we ended up playing. It's just it's amazing how things are laying out in front of us to make this a little bit easier for us to hopefully win a state championship.
Still a big boulder, Coach, but the boulder gets a little bit smaller.
That's exactly.
Coach, we want to thank you so much for the time. We wish you the best of luck on Thursday, tomorrow at 5:30, Firestone Stadium, South Range versus South Webster. We can't wait. We'll be there for YSN's coverage, and best of luck. Hope to see you Saturday too.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate it.
Talk to you, Coach. Right on to the next one. Like we're JC. We'll bring up the Division I state champion, defending state champion, Coach, and right back to it, Coach Steve Ward. My man, how we doing today?
What's up, guys? Hey, first off, Coach Kernan, Campfield Cards, best of luck. Coach DeRose, South Range Raiders, best of luck tomorrow. Coach McCula with the Vienna Matthews Mustangs. Hey, you guys got to get on YSN, but good luck tomorrow as well. Let's rock this thing. Last year we talked about, Route 46 being Championship Boulevard. Let's all, put our best foot out there and let's do this thing.
Coach, first and foremost, what I want to talk about, I mean, you guys were able to get the job done last year, but it's so unique that this group of girls is playing like they lost the state championship last year. They're playing with that hunger of getting back there, winning that title again. It felt like last year we talked about that one of the biggest challenges was just the girls' confidence of believing that they were a state championship team and just reminding them that they're there. It feels like the confidence was there this year. So what were some of the challenges that you had to battle through to get this group back to that state Final Four level?
Well, I tell you what, even though we're a younger team, our senior leadership has been amazing. Our junior leadership has been amazing. And our sophomores and freshmen, they don't act like sophomores and freshmen. So when you have a very mature group that, are high-level athletes, high-level competitors, their parents all raised them up, right? Their coaches throughout have just made them amazing ball players, amazing, people. And that's one thing that, I talked about today is our team's character. And, we did come out knowing that we were going to have a big bullseye on us, that everybody was going to want to take their best shot at us. And this team responds to challenges. They don't back down 1 inch. And that challenge was this year, hey, everybody is going to give you their best shot. What are we going to become? And again, that's kind of outcomes, but we talked about playing within ourselves, playing who we are. And that's been the message all week. Stay to who we are, and who we are is pretty darn amazing.
Coach, I want to ask you about the regional semifinals. You escape an extras, a 2-1, this absolute knockdown, drag-out thriller. I think everyone was kind of expecting Walsh versus Fitch, and it was almost like Amherst Steel wanted to say, wait a minute, I'm still in this conversation. When you escape a game like that, where maybe, you don't take care of every opportunity you have, or you don't, quote-unquote, play the best softball that you know you're capable of, but you find a way to win, what was it like coming off that and tightening up everything and being ultra focused for the Walsh regional final?
Well, I'll tell you what, Coach Lacey had that team rocking and rolling, ready to go. Just amazing job she does up there in Amherst Steel every year. They're in the conversations of coming into regionals, so all credit to them. For us, in the dugout during the game, yeah, it was close. 0-0, obviously, going into top of the eighth. And we get one, they get one. And you figure most teams would be a little dejected or tighten up and all that. And they just came in and said, okay, hey, well, 0-0, let's go. 1-1, we're fine. And again, that's the maturity level. And, all credit to them, because I think we had 4 strikeouts that day. It wasn't very many. And we hit that ball hard, but they made every single play. And we're going to have games like that. So we talked about toughness and grit and developing it throughout and adding another layer. The fact that if, something ain't dropping, we cannot get frustrated. We cannot, tuck within ourselves because maybe we're 1 for 4, 0 for 4 or something like that. We just need to keep playing our game. And, we got out of that game and, very happy with the result, very happy with how we managed our emotions. And then, the big giant matchup between Walsh and us. And wow, our girls came out to play that day. Right. They just lined it up. And I tell you, like I said, the maturity level, the talent level of our players. And, one of our goals as a coaching staff this year was to empower our athletes to take ownership a lot more, that this is your team. We're gonna coach you up as much as we can. We're gonna guide you. We're gonna mentor you, but this is your team, and you own it. And boy, do they own it. And that's one thing that I'm super proud of them is, we give them a lot of freedom to do what they want, to create how they create the game, and wow, they don't disappoint. And that's just, again, a credit to the high level maturity status that our team has.
I'm a firm believer that having coaching consistency can make teams consistent. And you and your group of coaches have been there for quite some time. And that's been really the gel. We talk about softball being a family. You talk about the Falcon family. How important has this group of coaches been to this program's success too? And you talk about bouncing ideas off of each other. It seems like you guys are always with each other too, watching softball, other softball as well. You guys are always bouncing ideas off of each other. What has this coaching staff meant to this program to be able to elevate it constantly? And like you said, this year, empower your athletes.
I mean, it means the world to me. They're my best friends off the field as well. I've known them for so many years that what they do for our student athletes is just amazing. And, each player kind of has their own favorite coach. And, Coach Bobby always gets the loudest cheers on there because, he just absolutely loves the girls and he does anything for them. And he just, I can't explain it. Just, he's a perfect fit for them. And so our coaching staff, I'm going to say, is top notch. Everybody has a role. Everybody has input. We respect one another. And I think the girls, see that as well. And they feed off it as well, knowing that they come talk to any one of us about anything. On, off the field, doesn't matter. Like I said, each one kind of connects to each coach a little differently, and they just know that we're more than coaches to them.
Coach, we got a little bit of a preview from the other 2 coaches about their opponents. I want you to do the same. Talk about Fairfield, what you know, what kind of things you can scout about them, maybe a couple of obstacles they might face from you guys.
Well, they're going to be extremely well coached. I know their coach has over 500 wins in her career. She's been there quite a long time, and it's going to be a heck of a game. It's going to be everything that a state Final Four game is going to be. We know their pitcher is upper 50s, likes to go curve, screw, drop, and she's going to keep moving it in and out. And then their big thing is they have 6 seniors on the team, and they're extremely defensively sound. So we're going to need to hit the gaps and we need to push plays and in a sense and just be aggressive like we are. And I think if we're able to do that, pretty confident we're going to put the bat on the ball and, let's just hope it hits some gaps and we're able to fly like we want to.
We let every coach talk about their pitcher in the circle. We're going to be featuring Sid a little bit later with a roundtable. But Obviously, I mean, I talk to you about her every after every game too, what she means to this program. But talk to me about just it feels like she's everybody else's bar, what they want to hit, what they want to accomplish, and then she constantly is raising that bar. What is it like challenging Sydney Watts and just her being able to answer each and every challenge that you guys put in front of her?
I don't challenge Sydney. She challenges herself. I mean, she has such high goals. Every one of our players on this team has such high goals. So that's just the culture that they've created is that they're going to challenge one another and they're going to challenge themselves to become better versions of themselves each and every time they get an opportunity to practice or play. With Sydney, I mean, what more can we say? It's just, she came off the Walsh game and it was like, coach, I didn't have a great performance. And I'm like looking at the stat sheet and I'm like, what the heck is a great performance then? Like, that's just her standard. It is, the fact that we were going up against a nationally ranked team and they're undefeated. And, I think she had 14 strikeouts, I think, in that game. And she's walking off like, oh, I could have done more. And I'm like, goodness, smile and enjoy the moment, but that's just the competitors that they are. They're always looking for ways to improve their game. And, everything starts and ends in the circle in this game. So having her command that and then knowing that her teammates love and trust her behind. Thanks, Bobby. After state.
Yeah.
So what more can we say about our staff on there? But, so when Sydney, we always say puts on that war paint, puts on her face mask. And, our team is built for bigger and bigger challenges. They love that. They feed off of that. And so, the big challenge this week is we're seeing a team that, we don't know too much about. We see a couple clips on Twitter. We see one game from, I think it was like March 26th, right around there. And, we're watching that and, trying to figure out our game plan, but it's just going to come down to our players being themselves. And, with Sid and all the other players, you look at, I was telling one of the coaches the other day, I said, when you have, Kayleana Ray batting essentially 750 and she gets on base and then the pitcher has to look at Ayla Ray, Abby Toth, and then Kylie Folkline, and then Sydney, and then Morgan, and then Sam, and then Lily, and then Rachel, and then, mixing a couple other kids when Vita gets in there. It's like, I'm looking at that. If I was an opposing coach, I'd be like, dang, I don't know where we're going to get a moment to breathe. And, I'm very, very proud of all of our players. They've just done a wonderful job this year.
Coach, one of the things that we did for the other two that we were going to do for you as well is give the opportunity to shout out your support system, the Fitch community and your fans and how much they've meant to this team's success.
Let me tell you, it was just a moment that I'm never going to forget. It's one of those moments that are just ingrained in my brain. We walked out against Walsh and you see our side just packed, that it was standing room. There was no seats left. And I saw, previous administrators. I saw current administrators, superintendents, athletic directors, our athletic staff. Miss Carroll was there, who just commented right there. She was front row. She was front row about, I think 4 o'clock ready to cheer on our team there. And you look at, the Canfield Cardinals came down to watch our game. We had a lot of girls from Little League. We had parents, uncles, aunts. I mean, grandmas, grandpas. Everybody loves this Falcon team. That they made them believers, and our community is supporting them. That I think they truly respect the way that these girls have done what they've done, how they have accomplished it, and how they approach the game and how they approach, especially our youth. It's amazing to see them interact with our youth. They love it. And, hopefully we're building something special here for the future as well.
Quick final question for you, Coach. I mean, obviously you're with these teams every day. What is it at? What would it mean for these girls to get back to that state championship game and be able to compete for a repeat title?
It's hard to put in words what it would mean because they know how hard they work. They know how much time they spend in their craft. I mean, I bet you we got about half our players at hitting lessons right now. I mean, that's just the way it is that the amount of time that they spend, not just at practice, but practice after practice. And it's nonstop amazing. So to see that validation, to get to the state final again would just mean the world to them. And then, they're just going to be locked in. And I'm excited for these next couple of days.
Coach, we want to thank you so much for your time and wish you the best of luck on Friday. 3:00 is the game time, Fitch versus Fairfield. And we hope that you can raise another trophy and go back-to-back this year, Coach.
We appreciate, thank you so much for everything you guys do. Thank you to the YSN Network for promoting these athletes, all throughout. It's amazing to see what you guys are able to do to promote the area and how you really brought softball right into the homes of everybody that could come watch it. So we are extremely thankful and grateful, and hopefully see you guys Saturday.
We'll be there, Coach.
We'll be there, Coach. We'll talk to you. Right from coaches to players, we're not gonna go. We're not gonna miss a step, and we're gonna go with one of the leadoff batters too of the Division II Canfield Cardinals, Jenna Treveri, joining us now. Jenna, how we doing tonight?
Good. How are you?
Not too bad.
The leadoff batter, the one and only Jenna Treveri. Jenna, I want to ask you the ability to set the tone every game, and you set the tone in that Aurora Regional semifinal with a leadoff double. You're able to really get the offense going from the jump. What's that been like for you all year?
I mean, it's been great. Starting off a really great hitting team off. We're really excited for Friday, and we're looking for a great win.
Jenna, talk about just being with this team last year and then being able to be on this special run again this year. What it's meant for you, the type of hard work that you guys had to put in after losing the last game of the season last year to work yourselves back to that doorstep once again.
Yeah, I mean, we're really excited. We really want to win this year because last year we came up short. So this year we've been really practicing hard this week. Practice has been very intense, and we're really excited to hopefully win a state championship.
Coach Kernan tells us that you're dubbing this the Revenge Tour, going back to state. What's that mindset like? Just like, it's not the same team, obviously, but just having that revenge mindset of we're going to win it this year.
Yeah, I mean, obviously everyone's goal in the tournament right now is to win it, but I feel like our mindset from losing last year is really giving us a great lead into the game.
What do you think about when going into Friday? You guys are going to be playing at 10 a.m. too. What do you think about going into Friday too? What's your anxiety levels like? How are you going to settle yourselves down for another state championship, state Final Four game?
Yeah, well, I know a lot of us are really excited. We were really nervous last year, but now that since we were there last year, our nerves are kind of calm this year, so we're more excited this year.
Playing at Firestone Stadium, it's a stadium atmosphere. You have the crowd all around you. It's more of an arena than you ever play in. What's that like for you, and how much did you learn about playing in that kind of atmosphere last year?
That it can get really loud. Last year, in the state championship game, everyone was really loud. There was great fans from Talmadge and from our team, so it can get really loud, but it's really exciting.
Well, Jenna, we want to wish you guys the best of luck on 10 a.m. Friday for your game. I know Canfield's going to be a sea of red and black there. I know that community is going to show up and show out. Good luck to you girls too, and we hope to see you guys on Saturday.
Thank you.
Go from one Canfield Cardinal player to another. We go from center field. We go all the way to the backstop.
All the way to the backstop.
Leah Figueroa too, and she's always feeling fancy, but she's feeling a little bit more fancy going to the state championship Final Four game. Leah, how are we doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, you better be doing good because you're about to play for a state semifinal. Figgy, one of the questions I have for you off the jump, you've been a power bat in this lineup. You lead the team in home runs, lead the team in RBIs. What has it been like this year to just see yourself gain confidence, gain success, and have so much success at the plate? We talked to you back, feels like a long time ago for your player profile. You've had a lot of success since then. So what has it been like to continue to gain success and gain confidence as the year goes on?
It's been really good. I looked at myself last year and I really thought I need to work on my mental game, and I've really came a long way, and I'm very proud of myself for that. And a lot of people have helped me get to where I'm at now, and I'm very grateful for that.
You've always been a clutch hitter, but you've kicked up the clutch factor. I feel like this year too. You hit in big situations, and when your team needs runs on the board, it feels like you can always produce. What gives you the ice in your veins when it's a big at bat, maybe 2 down in an inning, your team needs a run? How are you able to always produce for your team?
Really thinking about getting the bat on the ball, just as I always say. But in certain situations, it's when it really matters. And coming up Friday, I really have to be on it.
Friday, 10 a.m. What do you feel like playing an early morning game? You don't get a lot of those in the season. What are going to be the things that you're trying to do to prepare to play at 10 a.m. on Friday?
It's definitely something very different, the timing and everything, but I'm mentally preparing myself. I'm making sure I'm eating the proper foods, getting the proper rest, and just, getting ready.
You're a sophomore. You've been a battery duo going to state 2 consecutive years, freshman and sophomore year now. Not every young lady gets a chance to say that. What has it been like for you, your first and second year in high school, being able to go on these 2 special runs? What has last year primarily taught you about this year?
This year, it definitely makes us, we want the hunger more. We're ready. We want it. It taught us a lesson, and we're ready to come back 10 times stronger. We just got to really be on our A game, and I think we'll be good.
Coach Hernan said you guys are calling this the revenge tour. Talk about that mindset and just that, we want to avenge ourselves from losing last year. What's that been like?
Definitely it gives us the motivation. We've been practicing and just, everything, preparing for it.
Oh, before we let you go, Leah, I want to see if maybe you'll give us the sneak preview. What's the fits gonna be for Friday morning? What's the uni's choice gonna be?
I'm pretty sure we're wearing red. We haven't really went over it at practice, but I think it's gonna be red.
See you red
it's up to you guys. So
on the field.
What'd you say? I'm sorry.
I said Kernan said it's up to you guys. So
yeah. We have a rundown at practice before.
We'll see. I mean, that might just be a sneak preview. They might change it up, but now Canfield, get out there, support these girls as they look to accomplish their goal too. Again, Friday at 10 a.m. against the Cougars of Kenston South Ridge.
Figgy, I tell you, every time I see you, go get one for me. All right.
Yep.
Let's do it.
I got it. We're ready.
From one team to another, we go Division 2 to Division 3. We go into the South Range Raiders, and it's Anna A joining us now. Anna, how are we doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Not doing too bad. Anthony, go ahead. We got to kick it off with the Division 3. I know you're excited for this one tomorrow.
Anna, we have talked so much about this Raiders team and the dynasty they've had. We talked about it in your player profile not too long ago. Now that you're a part of it and you're able to go back to state and that little girls are watching and they're going to be like you were when you're watching that 2016 team, what's it like to know that you're going into a state semifinal that a lot of eyes are going to be on and a lot of little girls are going to be dreaming of being in your shoes when they get older?
I think that we just need to understand that even while everyone has their eyes on us, we still need to play our game. We were even talking about it at practice about how while everyone's going to be there and it's a huge environment, we still just need to play our game and focus on the task at hand.
Coach DeRose was talking a little bit about how you guys were feeling like you might be overlooked too because of what you lost last year, and it kind of gave you guys that chip on the shoulder mentality. What's that been like playing this season where it feels like maybe people were counting you out getting back to this stage, and what's it feel like being able to say you're back in the state Final Four now?
I would definitely say that some people thought that we were on a down year. I mean, we lost 4 amazing seniors, but honestly, clearly, as you can see, we're getting right back to where we were. So we're obviously not. And I think it also really helps with the dynamic of the team that we're all so much younger. So we all are more comfortable playing and fielding.
Yeah, I want to talk about the experience from last year. This is a stadium. This is an arena. When you're playing at Firestone Stadium, you get it's a professional atmosphere. What's that like, and what kind of lessons did you take from last year learning about how to play in that kind of atmosphere and that kind of environment?
Last year, definitely, we took it all in, and I feel like going into this year, I'm still going to take it all in early, but as soon as we step onto that field, for our warm-ups, I just need to forget everything and just lock into the moment.
We were talking to some of the Canfield girls. Do you feel like last year's experience helps you going into this year? Do you feel like it's a less anxiety and more excitement, or do you still feel a little bit of the butterflies in the stomach going into this?
I definitely still feel the butterflies, but I would say I'm more excited than nervous than I was last year.
We can't let this go without talking about this regional final and how exciting it was to get out of that game and to go and win the way that you guys did. I'm wondering what it was like from your perspective to watch that ball fall in right field and then watch Liana turn third and realize that you had a legitimate chance of walking that game off the way you did.
Yeah, I mean, like I was on deck, so I had the front row view. I'm watching her and I'm watching the ball go down, and I'm looking at her rounding second. The ball's still rolling, and oh my God, she has a chance. I was like, gee, good thing you did it because I am not that fast.
Speak to the character of this team and what it means to you guys. I know you guys work so hard to get back to this level, to get back to this stage and try to finish that job this year. What does it mean to this team to get back to this level, and just talk about the character and the makeup of this team?
It really, really means a lot to us that we can go to state back-to-back years. I feel like you don't see a lot of teams doing that. I think it like helps that, like as I said, we're all younger, so we all are more comfortable around each other. Whereas if we had like a lot of upperclassmen and seniors, we would be like very tense and nervous. So I think it helps that we all trust each other and that we're all comfortable. So if we do end up making a mistake, we know like, hey, she's got my back. She can pick me up from it.
This is the first time the program's ever gone back-to-back in 2 straight years going to state, and you could be the first team in program history to win the championship. What does that kind of legacy mean for you? Not being the first to go back-to-back and then the possibility of being the first team to win it.
I didn't know that we were the first to go back-to-back, so that in itself is amazing. And I think that while we do have a very good chance of winning this game at going to state, we cannot overlook this game at all. They were talking to us, the coaches at practice, about how like last year, or not last year, but a couple years ago, like they got their hopes up. They had an 18-0 record, and then they got run rolled. So we cannot overlook any teams. We need to go out and play our game.
Anna, before we let you go, what's the fit choice going to be for tomorrow? What's the Raiders going to be rocking on the field?
Of course, the home uniforms. We have done the home uniforms the entire tournament season. It's a superstition thing at this point.
Got to rock the home unis. Nothing like home, right, Ant?
Yes.
Nothing like home. Make Firestone home.
Yes.
All right, Anna, we want to wish you the best of luck. We'll be there on tomorrow night at 5:30 with YSN's coverage. We hope that you guys can get this win and get to state and then get another win on Saturday. You know we're behind you. We wish you the best of luck, and we'll see you again real soon.
Thank you.
One Raider to another one. We go to Selena De Jesus now that she's going to join us.
Thank Selena, you. How we doing?
Oh, I'm great.
You're great. Okay, that's good. It should be great. One day before the state semifinal. Selena, I'm wondering from your perspective, being as this is going to be your first time in this round, being a consistent member of varsity, what are the butterflies like? What's the percentage of butterflies and excitement that you have right now?
Well, I'm pretty sure I'm mostly excited than the butterflies because I know I have the ability to perform well in state, so I'm just excited to be there and go there with this team because we're all so capable of probably going the distance. So I'm more excited than nervous.
Another magical run for the Raiders, winning a regional, getting back to this level too. And I mean, we talked with Anna, it doesn't happen every year for these teams, and for you guys to go back to back, it's something special. Talk to me about just these special runs with these teams and being able to do it again this year. What has this run been like for this team and how you guys have bonded throughout the season?
Well, even though we're a young team, we've all been playing together for so long. I mean, since 8U, like I've said before. And so it feels like just another one of those games. I mean, Gretchen said at practice today, it just feels like the way we've been playing is just like we're friends on a rec ball team. Mm-hmm. And I think that's just it. That's how we're going so far because we've been connected for so long.
Take us through what this week has been like, because during the regular season, you don't get, a week off between games. You don't get that big gap between one game and the next. And you've had time to go to practice. You've had time to, fine tune some stuff, get really big scouting reports on the next team. What has that done for you to be able to take a beat and not have to play the very next day?
Well, I mean, we're all still practicing. It's just practice, putting the work in, fine-tuning skills, like you said, and just making sure that everything we're doing is correct. Like, are there things I could do better? Or, like, is my batting stance the way I want it? Like, is my mindset clear? That's pretty much all I've been working on.
When you talk about having that long time in between games too, does it get you itching for the game more? Yeah. Do you wish there was a little bit less time? Are you like, can we just get there already?
Sometimes, yeah. I'm kind of just really ready to play, and I'm really excited. So, yeah.
Okay, what's tomorrow going to look like for you before the game? You wake up, you have a couple of hours before you have to get on the bus. You have to send off at 1:30. You know yourself better than anybody. What are going to be the things going through your head as you get closer and closer to walking on that stadium and starting your warm-ups?
Well, honestly, I'm just going to try and have a clear mind and not think about it too much because I feel like if I think about it a lot, it's just going to get worse and worse. But we're going to breakfast tomorrow, like in the morning with just the girls, and we're all just going to have fun and connect like we usually do. So, yeah.
We talked with your teammate Anna about that regional final with Champion too. I want to know what's going through your mind when you see Gianna Pauline rounding second, then rounding third, and coming home with it too. What's going through your mind as you guys may realize that you're going back to the state Final Four?
I was freaking out because, I mean, G's one of my outfielders, and for her to finally get her moment to shine, it was just crazy. I saw her rounding the bases, and then Mr. Farron told her to go home, and I was like, oh my God, we're going to state. And it was just wonderful because I grabbed Addie, one of my best friends, and I looked at her and I went, oh my God, we're going to play in the state game. It was just a wonderful feeling, and to see her finally get her moment was awesome.
So I'm wondering when that the euphoria of that win wore off and you got more focused on the next round. How long did it take for you to come off that win and then get locked into the state semifinals?
I think for the rest of the day, I was pretty much just in shock. But like the next day, I was like, wow, okay, well, we need to start focusing on the next game, making it to state semis. Like that's a huge deal, but we need to make it farther than that. I think we have a pretty good chance of winning state. So we just had to focus on fine tuning more skills.
So let us shout out that Raider community and call them out to Firestone Stadium tomorrow night. Tell them why you needed to be burgundy and gold throughout the stands.
Oh yeah, it's wonderful to have fans there to support you, and then when you look at the field, it's just all burgundy and gold. It's a really nice feeling to have, and it would make all of us really happy if you could come out. But the baseball team is playing at the same time, so we understand if you would go to that instead of us, but it would be wonderful if you could make it.
As Coach Fishel from the basketball team likes to say, the world looks better in burgundy and gold. Selena, thank you so much for taking the time to join us today. We appreciate it. Good luck tomorrow in the state semis. We'll be there. We'll be behind you. And we hope that we see you on Saturday too.
Thank you so much. Go Raiders.
Let's go.
From the Raiders to the Falcons, Division I player. We got. I wouldn't expect anything less other than some commotion. What's up, Ayla? How we doing?
I'm good. How are you?
No, not too bad. I want to talk about the season that you've had as one of the everyday seniors in this lineup, one of the leaders batting in that two-hole for this team. You lead the team in home runs. You lead the team in runs batted in. You're a vocal leader for the team when you need to be, and it just seems like everyone looks to you for advice. What's it been like taking that role on this year too, and being that leader for the team and being that one that all the girls are going to?
Yeah, it feels great to know that I'm a leader on this team and I've led them this far. But as a team, we're just always working together, and I'm nothing without them.
Ayla, so far every player that we've talked to tonight has been an underclassman with a lot on the horizon in their career at their high school, with this being maybe the first or second step, and they have a lot to still accomplish. You're a senior. What's it been like with this ride in your last year, knowing that, no matter what, you have 2 games left in your high school career? What's that been like for you to be able to achieve all you've been able to achieve in your last go around?
Yeah, I'm so grateful that I've gotten to achieve what I've gotten. No one else can say they've achieved this much, but to be back again feels great, and I couldn't do it without my team.
I got to talk with younger sister Kayliana. She mentioned you a lot throughout her player profile too, as a player that she looks up to, and she said you set the bar pretty high for that Ray name at Austintown Fitch. This is one of the times you get to play with your younger sister. What has this season meant to you two? I know it's been rare that you both have gotten to play on the same team. What has this season meant to you that you've gotten to have this year with Kayliana and be able to have this special run with her?
Yeah, it's meant a lot to see how that our team has gone this far and we've got to experience it together and to watch how far she's grown and how much more she can grow.
We asked every other player that's been on about their regional experience and what it was like to go through the regional tournament for the last two teams. And you got to play the regional and the district at your new home, your next home, YSU. What was that like for you to be able to spend some time on your, your future home and to be able to play on that field for 2 straight rounds?
Yeah, it's been great to have the opportunity to play there 3 years in a row, and I'm just grateful.
When you talk about this team and the experience you guys had winning the state championship last year, but getting back to this level again, I mean, it was a goal from the onslaught. What was it like from day one, knowing target on your back this year? Everybody wants to give you one of their best shots. What's it been like for you guys rising to that challenge and trying to excel in your own unique way each and every game?
Yeah, we all knew coming into this season, coming off of last season of being undefeated and state champions, that we had a big target on our back. But we just knew we had to keep working. We had to work extra hard this year and get back to where we are.
So I want to let you to give a shout out to the Fitch fans and the community and what they've meant to this team and you personally and the support they've given you throughout the season.
Yeah, our community has came out to a lot of our games. We're so thankful for all of them. My whole team couldn't do anything without them, our coaching staff, everyone who's gotten me this far, my hitting coach, Bob Smith, my grandparents, everyone.
Before we let you go, Ayla, I've asked everybody else, every other team, so I got to ask you guys, what's the fit choice going to be for Friday at 3 p.m.? What are you guys rocking?
I think we're rocking all blue, but I have to confirm it with my fellow senior.
We're gonna be expecting the Navy, but you guys can always throw us a curveball, and we'll be all right with it as well. Officer Toad says, "Go A Ray, big fan of yours as well. A lot of fans of yours as well. I've never been shy of saying I've always been a big fan of the Ace of Bases. So Ayla, good luck, best of luck on Friday. We'll be there with the YSN broadcast rooting you on."
Thank you.
One Fitch girl to another one. As you ready for some personality? We're gonna
no, Abby Toad.
It's Abby Day every day for the Falcons. Abby, I want to talk about just the role you've taken on with this team, batting in that 3-0, and you've passed it with flying colors. You talked to me about how last year you started off in the slump. You didn't like the way you started. I think you, outside of maybe Kayleana, have been the most consistent batter since game one to now. What's it been like for you to step up in that role, the 3-hole hitter, and excelling every day, producing runs for your team?
It feels a lot better knowing that I can get a bunch of base hits for our team so we could score first inning, second inning. It really means a lot that everyone has trust in me to be able to barrel the ball.
I know your lineup kind of defies this sentence, but it's not easy to be consistent through a long grind of a softball season. So my question for you is, personally, what kind of things did you do all year to keep yourself locked in, to keep yourself consistently mentally focused, and have that consistent success that we see that Titus brought up?
I'm very much out of my head. I don't try to get so angry at myself when I make a mistake. I just let everything go. Just my travel ball coach tells us to flush it down the toilet, so that's what I try my best to do. And yeah, I just keep a good mindset throughout the whole time. Doesn't matter doing good or bad.
My word, I want to talk about the defense that this team has been playing throughout the playoffs, because you guys have kicked it up a notch. That double play that you, Sid, and Kylie had against Walsh Jesuit, that was a beaut. What's it been like for you guys kicking up the defense too, and really being a wall, I guess, behind Sid too, and adding that extra layer of difficulty trying to score against you guys?
It feels really good knowing that Sydney can trust us behind her backs, because that's what your pitcher needs. If she can't trust her defense, then you have to fix something. But it feels really good knowing that we all had that connection, and then knowing that they tried to do it again and the person on third base did not go for Walsh.
When you think about this offensive lineup, you look at one of the best stats I think of this whole Fitch team is they do not strike out a lot at all. I think the most you struck out in one game so far this year, I believe, is 6. That's like the high. A lot of teams would kill for that. What kind of things do you do to avoid strikeouts, you specifically, and then you think the lineup in general?
I usually just get to contact, and I know it will go with our power, just get to contact, and then everybody on the team just takes a deep breath and they do their thing, and there's always a hit. We rarely strike out.
This team is the definition of playing loose but serious softball, is what I always say. And you are one of those that brings the personality and the character on the field, off the field, in the dugout. It doesn't matter too. What is it for you taking on that role of being the one that hypes the team up, gets them going, gets them ready to go game to game, and gets their energy flowing?
I've always been that type of person. I just feel like that's who I am. But there's always times where I do yell. I yelled at Morgan against Walsh. She was upset at herself, so I yelled at her, but I tried to like keep her going. There has to be someone on the team to keep everyone going, because if one person goes down, then they all go down. So if one person's up, we can try and get everyone else up.
There's a quote from your team on Facebook floating around this week from the Dugout Energy, and it's quote unquote, "We like to be annoying." Go into that and how much energy you have in the dugout and how it's just so random and off the wall, and you kind of feed into this, we're just kind of going to bug you the whole game kind of mentality.
Well, that's who we are. We want to try and get in your guys' heads. Like, it doesn't matter who you are, it doesn't matter the team. We're always going to try and get in your head so we can end up on top.
Freshman year, you get to go to state championship and win a state championship trophy. Sophomore year, you're right back in the state Final Four. Have you ever kind of put into perspective what these first 2 years of your high school softball experience have been like, and how you've been able to get to the state Final Four level 2 years in a row already?
I feel like I'm very lucky to be able to get here 2 times in a row, especially with my team. I love these girls so much, and it means a lot to go here with them, especially with some of the returning players.
Abby, one of the things we want to do, because we did it with every player so far tonight, talk about the community, your fan support that you have at Austintown Fitch, how much it means to you, and from your perspective, how much it means to the team.
It means a lot to us, especially when we see Miss Carroll there. She comes out of her way to come to every game. She's always front row. All the parents, all of just random people there. We have people from different schools. It really means a lot to us.
We see you, Fitch OG. We see you.
Abby, I'm so happy for the success that you've been able to have with this team. We're wishing you the best of luck Friday at 3 p.m. And hey, colleges, this young lady's a junior, and you better have her on your radar as well. You're missing out if you're not. Abby, we wish you the best of luck on Friday, and we can't wait to be there with YSN.
Thank you.
All right, and then before we get into this, without further ado, this is going to be the main event. What we've been excited for. The round table with the arms that have led their respective teams to the state Final Four. Ladies and gentlemen, we bring in Jaylee Wilt, Milena Toth, and Sydney Watts. Ladies, how are we doing today?
Good. How are you?
I'm good.
I'm good.
Everyone's good. That's good. You all have done such a wonderful job for your teams. I want to start with Milena because you're the only senior in this group. What's it been like this year navigating the season, knowing that it's your last go around, knowing it's your last chance to do something special in a Canfield uniform? How have you navigated all that this year?
Yeah, it's really been a lot of fun. Just trying to stay focused and taking it one game at a time, but it's also my last year, so just having a lot of fun with all my teammates.
Sid, real quickly with you, you got the opportunity to finish the job. I said with Coach Ward, it feels like you girls are playing like you lost the state championship last year. You're hungry to get back there. What has it been like for you to try to get back there, repeat it? It's a tough job to do it once. What's it been like for you to get that will, that drive to get back to this level?
I feel like it's because since we won last year, I feel like we've had to face everybody's best players, and I feel like it just grew us as a team. And I feel like just how hard we've worked this whole after we won state, we knew that's not all we really wanted, so we just kept working hard, and which it shows.
Now, Jaylee, you're the only one in this group that is coming off their first trip into the circle in the state semifinal. How have you been feeling? How have you been trying to handle your emotions and get ready for your first, time pitching in state?
The nerves are definitely high, but I'm more so excited. I could not be more blessed to be a part of this team and to finally get my opportunity to show what I can do. I just got to go out and prove that I deserve to be there. I got to prove that my team deserves to be there, and we just got to play our game, and I think we'll be fine.
Elena, Sid, both of you guys were able to go to the state semifinals, win a state semifinal game, pitching for your teams in the circle. What's a bit of advice you might offer Jaylee for handling those nerves and being able to find success while in the circle for your teams?
Definitely to just like remember it's just like any other game. Just don't think too much about it. The nerves will be high, but just try to stay focused.
Like Melina said, I feel like even though it might be hard, all you got to think is like it's just another game. You're playing with the same team, the same crowd, and you just got to play like you know how.
All right, so my big question for all of you, and I guess we can just start with Jaylee and then go Sid and then Melina, because we'll just go in order. What does this mean to you to be able to represent your community, your school, the way you're able to do it, and go and play in state for the second time in a row for all three of your programs?
Well, our community is absolutely amazing, and I feel like we took a pretty hard hit with the passing of Dominic Tomato a couple days ago. So I feel like our community just really needs like an uplifting moment, something to celebrate, and it would mean the world for me to bring home a title for my school and my community and my entire support system.
You know, seeing the community at all of our games, you know, the Walsh game, that might have been the biggest crowd I've seen since Firestone last year. Just seeing all the younger kids and knowing that we are role models to them really it means a lot to the team.
Yeah, it's really great to see our entire community out there rooting us on. So we're just really happy to be able to do this for them.
You talk about the runs that each one of your teams have been able to make, and I mean it's been special for each one of you. Jaylee, we'll talk with you real quick. Regional final that you all pitch great games in the regional final. And Elena, you have the 3-0 win against Medina Buckeye Fitch. Sid, with Fitch, you go up against the number 9 ranked team in the nation and pitch a shutout all the way until the 6th inning, 8-2 win in that one. Jaylee, we'll start with you though. You guys are shutout, going into extras, and then you finally get that run from Gianna Pauline. What's going through your mind, too, after you do the work in the circle? Your defense helps you out, and you guys get that job done and know you're going to state.
Well, Gabby Gradishar is an absolutely outstanding pitcher, and it was just an honor to play against them, honestly. But I knew that I just had to hit my spots, let my defense do some of the work, and I can't win a game by myself. I have to have my defense behind me, and I knew that eventually we were going to get bad on ball and that we were going to win the game.
So same question to you too. Number 9 team in the nation. How are you able to battle that lineup and rise to the challenge once again?
You know, the same thing Jaylee said. It was pretty much you just have to rely on your defense a lot. Walsh has some of the best hitters we're going to face all the way to the championship, and I feel like I just had to trust myself, knowing that I have to hit my spots for my team. And yes, they're going to put the ball in play, but my defense is going to be behind me to make the plays.
Melina, you're leading the revenge tour. Another shutout under your belt against Medina Buckeye. How are you able to keep performing for your team at a high level?
Yeah, definitely just staying focused every game and doing my part for the team, pitching good while everyone else does their job, good defense behind me and hitting the ball.
All right, we have all three of you on because these programs have been so good for the last 2 years especially, but for way beyond the last 2 years. So from all three of you, what's it like to have 4 local teams, 3 YSN teams, all be represented? And how much pride do you take in local softball being able to see each other succeed at such a high level?
It really shows how much talent we have in the area. You know, seeing we have, like you said, 4 teams locally going to the state tournament. It just shows like how hard it is to actually play around here, and knowing like we have some of the best teams in the country, not just the state, the country.
Yeah, I was just talking about this the other day with someone. It's really cool that we have someone representing each division for our area, and our area is just really good with softball.
Like they both said, I would put our area up against anyone. I feel like this area just kind of breeds softball players, good softball players, and I just feel like our area is really special.
Because we have two teams in the same conference, I want to ask this question with both you, Sid, and you, Milena, here. You guys have gotten to face each other in the box against one another in the circle. What's the biggest challenge facing Sid, Milena? Milena, what's the biggest challenge facing Sid? Sid, what's the biggest challenge facing Milena when you're in the box against him?
So far this season, I feel like Milena has been the best pitcher we faced, and honestly, she very well could be the best pitcher we're going to face all season. She has a really good rise ball, got a lot of our team on, and I feel like she being able to try and hit against her, it helped prepare us for this tournament.
Yeah, I'll definitely say the same about Sydney. She has a really good rise ball. It was hard for us to stay off of it because it just looks like it's coming in like at a perfect strike, and so it was really good to hit off of her because she's the best we've seen so far.
Gailey, I know you haven't played these two teams, but you did play Champion. You did play Poland, Columbiana in the tournament. A lot of really good teams in Division III with a lot of great pitchers. How much do you think those wins and those experiences help this lineup that we talk about, South Range, get ready for the pitchers that you're going to see in state?
Well, like I said, Gabby Radish is an amazing pitcher, and all the pitchers that we faced this year have been just as amazing. But it just really gives us confidence going into the state tournament, just knowing that no matter what you throw at us, we're eventually going to hit the ball. It just gives me confidence as a pitcher to know that if I make a mistake out in the field, that my offense is going to come and be right behind me and have my back.
I was talking with Anthony a lot. Softball is family, as it seems like a motto that runs throughout this sport too. And I mean, you see all three of you girls are here. You're all rooting for one another too. We're all rooting for you going into the state Final Four. What is softball is family? What is the phrase softball is family? What does that mean to you? Jaylee, we'll start with you and go in order.
It just means that you have girls that are probably going to be in your life for, I like to say eternity, but I don't know. But it's just amazing to know that there are people that are in your similar situation from different areas that you can go to and that you can be friends with and that you can root for. Also, like with travel, you get to play with people from different schools, and you really just build your community and your fan base from there.
Yeah, definitely. Because you're just with each other every day during practices and games. You're seeing them every day, and it's just really nice to know that you're able to create a bond with all these girls. And I'll see them sometime down the road and just remember all the great times we had.
They both said it perfectly, but also playing against teams like this, I feel like it shows really you can find friends on any team. I feel like it really just brings everybody together. Not just, like I said, not just on your team, but it really brings other teams. Like it's a bunch of, you play against people that love the same thing as you, and it really shows off the field too when you just see them in public and you can say hi.
One of the things I get a lot talking to people about all of your teams is the idea that it seems so easy for you guys, but we know it's not. We know you guys have put in so much hard work to get to back-to-back state titles and state tournament runs. For each of you, just put into words the work that you've put in. Give people the peek behind the curtain of what goes into this kind of success.
Well, the countless hours of practicing with the team, but not just that. Me personally, I've put in hours and hours into pitching with my dad in the FP Performance Place. Just everyone does their own part individually, and then we get together and we practice even more. It just really shows that we are very hardworking and that we're willing to do anything to get where we want to be.
Yeah, for me, I started pitching when I was 9, and ever since then I've had around 3 lessons a week. So just putting a lot of time into pitching. And then for the team this year, we started workouts in October. So just to think that we've worked every single day since October up until now, and we're finally there 2 games away until we're there for our goal.
Being a pitcher, it's like a whole nother sport on top of softball. You have a lot of private lessons. Like I think it was Tuesday, I went and saw Ed, my pitching coach, right before I went to practice. And it's a lot, but I feel like if you're dedicated to it, the outcome will show.
It's always when you get to the district level and then the regional level and beyond too. It's fun for us too, but it's always heartbreaking when you look at the teams that are suffering defeat because the pitcher didn't have their best game. And pitchers aren't defined by their setbacks, but setbacks certainly make pitchers stronger. What's a time, I guess, in each one of your careers where you guys may have had that setback, and how did you guys get stronger because of it? See where you guys all are today here at the state Final Four.
Well, there was a moment in our season this year that I had a couple games where I really struggled, and I actually got pulled out of 2 of the games this year. And it really just helped me grow as an athlete, as a person. My mental game definitely got stronger from that because I just had to reset everything. I had to refocus in. I just had to remember that those games meant nothing at the time. And I just had to come back stronger than I was before. And I had to be there for my team because I just had to believe that there should be nobody else in this position besides me. And I think I really have proved that, and I've thought that in my head.
Yeah, I would definitely talk about the state championship game from last year. I wasn't feeling the best that day. I definitely wasn't prepared like I should have been. So this year, I'm definitely going to be more prepared, more well rested and hydrated.
Before my sophomore season, I was dealing with an injury and I was just coming off of breaking my foot. And I feel like that was the toughest part for me, was trying to come back from that and go. I was cleared in December. So having very little preparation for the season, I feel like I had to work really hard, and just being able to have the season we had last season really boost my confidence, knowing like I worked that hard to come back from an injury for my team.
You guys have said it. Pitching is different. Pitching in this environment at state is different. More than maybe hitters, more than defenders. You guys really have to deal with the crowd noise and blocking everything out and blocking out the environment you're in. How are you guys going to do that this year? What are some routines and game plans you have to challenge that routine and that environment that you're going to be playing in?
Well, when we played Champion this year, their crowd was loud, like probably the loudest crowd we've played with this year, and our stands are normally louder than the other stands, so it was definitely different. But I just had to keep my head clear and just like talk with my teammates, make little jokes, sing some songs. Like, you just got to keep yourself loose and focused, and you just got to remind yourself that like they're here to support you. If they're not here to support you, they're here to support the other team, and that they have a right to be there. So you just got to block everything out and do what you do.
Yeah, we definitely know that it's going to be very loud there. Was very loud last year, but whenever I'm pitching, I just tune everything out, and I just don't really hear anything that's going on.
I feel like the crowds boost our team. I don't know. I feel like that sounds odd to say, but I feel like our team really likes playing in front of the crowds, and like the noise. I feel like it kind of boosts, so it kind of makes us louder.
What is the work that goes into having the special season that you guys have been able to do? Obviously, we see the games, we see the final scores, but we don't see when we talk about November weightlifting starting, or it's starting all the way back last year. What goes into making this type of run and being able to do it with the group of girls that you guys have been able to play with?
Well, again, the hours and hours in the practice facilities that we have had, but me personally, this year has really been like a mental reset year. I have always had the ability, and I've never really believed that until this year. So I really had to just dial it in and mental reset after every game, and keep myself in check, but at the same time, like, let myself be a little bit more confident out there. I just had to be that for my team because I know that they're behind me and I need to be behind them too.
Yeah, early on in the year, we did speed and agility, yoga, and weightlifting, and we did hitting throughout the week. And I feel like that really helped us gain some strength and be real stretched out. And we got in the field as soon as we could and just haven't gotten off since.
We've worked very hard since the fall, but I feel like for us, it was a lot of our mentality. You know, we've had a target on our back after winning state last year, and I feel like just we had to learn to stay within ourselves and not let the outside noise bother us.
So my last question for you guys tonight before we let you all go, the game day mentality. You know, you guys know yourselves better than anybody else on how you get ready for a game. Melena, you're not going to have a lot of time from when you wake up to when you play. You have a 10 a.m. game, but the other two have a little bit more time from when they wake up to when they get to warm-ups. What's it going to be like game day? What kind of things are you going to do to prepare yourself, get yourself in the right mindset? And what do you think are some of the emotions that are going to go through your head before you step on the field and it's time to warm up?
Well, definitely shock's gonna be going through my head because if you would have told me a couple years ago that um, I would be taking my team to the not the state championship yet, but the state games, I probably would not have believed you just because I had very little confidence in myself. But definitely, I'm gonna soak up the environment. But as soon as it's game time, it's like Coach Rose always says. It's always business on the field, and we just got to take care of business, and we just got to stay focused.
Yeah, like you said, we have an early game, so we just have to make sure we wake up and get lots of energy right away and just stay focused. Can't think about it too much, so just go in and have a lot of fun.
Since we're off school, I feel like it's just like we have to. We play at I think 3:00 on Friday. We just can't sit around all day. I feel like that's one of the biggest problems is like usually we're used to playing after being in school all day. We have to kind of get up at a normal time and just start moving.
But my last question for all of you girls too. I mean, we've always had all of our players, all the coaches, they shouted out the community, but I want you guys specifically to talk to the little leaguers and all the girls that are watching you. And there's a lot of people watching you, young ladies right now, but all the little girls that are watching you too, that are seeing what you guys are able to do with your respective teams and how you guys are able to make this magical run. Speak to all of them, give them a little bit of advice. You guys were all in their position at one point, sticking with the sport and how it's all flourished for all three of you.
Well, to my little Raiders out there, you just got to think the unthinkable. Nothing is impossible. If you put in the work and you believe in yourself, and you can do anything. And honestly, when I was in your position, again, if you would have told me that I would be taking my team to the Final Four when I was like 9 and 10 years old, I probably would not have believed you, but just stick with it. I know it's challenging at times, but you just got to believe in yourself and put in the work, and you can do anything.
Definitely to just keep practicing and having fun. The game is so much better whenever you're out there having fun and just like not thinking about it and stressing too much, and just have fun with your teammates.
It's not always going to be easy, but you always have to see the positive in things. You're always going to deal with rough patches, but once you overcome them, it's when it really shows. And it feels better when you overcome hard patches, but just work hard and like they both said, have fun. And that's really it.
That's it. Short and sweet and to the point. I like it, Sid. All three of you, we want to thank you for your time coming on. I think all three of you deserve a huge thank you to everyone in the local softball world. You've all lifted up this sport and your teammates this year in the last couple of years as well. So I want to thank you for that. I want to thank you for coming on and sharing your experience and sharing your journey. And man, we wish you all the best of luck on Thursday and Friday. We hope we see all three of you in Saturday's state championship holding up that big trophy. I thank you from the bottom of my heart again for just being great advocates for this sport.
Yeah, thank you. And thank you for coming to our games.
Thank you for doing what you guys do.
All right, girls, we'll be talking with you. Thank you guys so much for your time. Best of luck Thursday and Friday.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Wow, what a great time with talking to these coaches, talking with these players, and I mean that roundtable discussion with those pitchers, that was awesome. I mean, we talk about it all the time, man. Softball is family, and the way that these communities are not only rallying for their schools, their alumni, but rallying for each other. I mean, you see it in other sports, but I don't know if you see it as strong as what we're seeing in the softball community. Everybody's wearing these teams' colors. Everybody's supporting these teams going into Thursday and Friday, and it's an incredible thing to see.
Well, you look at softball. I mean, you could argue. I'll argue it. I'll put my foot forward on it. I think it's the best sport we have in the area. We have a lot of good sports with a lot of great talent that are putting people in state. But when you look at the softball in this area, you have a couple of teams that were playing those teams in regionals that probably could have gone to state if they weren't in the same region as some of these teams. So, even though we only have 4 in state, we have, 5, 6, 7 that are state caliber level. And they just ran into each other, right? Just ran into each other. What can you do? But Northeast Ohio, even if you expand it outside of our, tri-county region at YSN, and you go more into the Akrons and the Auroras and the, Tuslaw, all those communities have such strong programs, and it's all Northeast Ohio as far as I'm concerned. And I don't think you'll ever find a better region for softball above the Mason-Dixie line. That's what I said on my show a couple days ago. Excluding the Floridas, the Texas, and the Californias, who are not fair because they're playing all year and they have so much specialization in those states. When you're talking about the states up north, up above the Mason-Dixie line, there aren't too many better than Ohio when you come to softball. And Northeast Ohio specifically, since we're so used to it. But, you go into Central, you go into the Toledo area, Cincinnati area, softball in Ohio is very, very good.
Well, I want to thank you, Ant, because you've always been pounding the softball drum since day one of me being at YSN. You've always been an advocate of this sport, and you've kind of showed me the path to softball, and I've fallen in love with this sport, and I've kind of made it one of my missions to try to put this sport, like we said, uplift it a little bit, put it on a pedestal because it deserves it. When you look at the athletes, when you look at the teams, when you look at the coaches that we have locally right now, I mean, like DJ said in that story too, like we're living in the good times right now. This is how Randy Savage would say, the cream of the crop right now, right? We are in the cream of the crop as far as softball is concerned locally. And I mean, you're seeing Division I through Division IV. We have a local representative. And I mean,
that's the first time ever, by the way, that we've been able to do that in our area with four local teams all at state, all representing the region. So props to that too. Props to Matthews. I know they're not a YSN school. We love to be them. We love them to be on there. But man, to be able to get that program back to where it was, and I know they fell short a couple of regionals in a row. So to see them get back to state was really, really cool. We have friends at Matthews, and we've been able to cover a couple of Matthews games on YSN or against YSN teams. They have a great program. They have a great softball program led by a great coach who's been there, done that. So shout out to Matthews out there. We'd love to be a part of your YSN family. Make sure to hop on board next year. We'd love to cover your seniors next year as they come back for hopefully another state championship run after one this year. Ty, I meant it when I said it though. Those three that we had on are such great advocates for the sport in our area, not because their talent. Their talent is astronomical. I could sit here and talk X's and O's of what they do really well until the midnight, but it goes past their talent. It's the way they carry themselves, all three of them. You could see someone with that much talent being like, I'm not going to talk with those are girls. They're not my team, and just block it out and only want to do their own interviews. But they're all willing to just come on with each other. Sid and Melina have to compete against each other in a conference. So they're fighting each other for conference championships. And they X all that out when they're done. And they say, we're here to support each other. We're here to uplift the support every other team in the softball world. That's why they're advocates, not because of their talent. Their talent, is above reproach, right? But it's the way they carry themselves that makes them tremendous advocates of the sport. So that's what I really wanted to thank them for, because my word, we could not ask for better ambassadors of the sport than the three girls that we had on the round table. And really every girl we interviewed tonight. And then I think everyone on these rosters from 1 to 9 on Canfield, Fitch, and South Range. They're just great people. And that's what you want people, to be carrying the torch for your sport.
They all give back to the younger girls too, and you'll see them all signing balls after games, taking pictures, and you see how these young teams are falling in love with these girls. And that's why I love that, giving that advice to the younger players, because there's going to be a young lady out there that needs to hear that from one of those big names too, and how they're having success right now. And I mean, when you talk about what these girls are giving back, I mean, Sid, I know personally too, coming out to my kid's game, right, just to see her too. And I mean, that's still like one of the highlights of the season. She talks about it still to this day. So, I mean, these young ladies do make a difference too by sacrificing, and you don't want to even say sacrificing, but by utilizing their time to give back to these younger softball girls too. And like you said, being great advocates for the sport. And I mean, we're going to be there for all of them. You're going to be there for all of the states.
So, yeah, I get to put on, like, I love it. I love this time of year because I get to put on my softball analyst hat and not worry about, can I see what's going on and all the stuff that goes with play-by-play, and just talk about the game I love. Like, that's going to be fun. With you for Fitch and Canfield, and with DJ for South Range. That's just going to be a fun time. And Firestone Stadium, I've talked about it before. It's a home away from home. I spent 4 summers there with almost every day with the Akron Racers season tickets. So anytime I get to go back to Firestone Stadium is a dream come true for me. I have keys to the place. So, I've been there quite a bit. They probably don't work anymore since the Akron City took it over, but it's going to be a fun ride. I can't wait for tomorrow to South Range kick it off at 5:30 and then to be able to go early in the morning on Friday at 10 o'clock. And hopefully by 5:30 on Friday, we have 3 teams that are set to play on Saturday.
Absolutely, man. I'm excited for it. We're rooting hardcore for all of these teams.
I am so stoked
to finish their stories too and get the job done. But at the end of the day, man, like we said before we even got this show planned, we knew it was going to be a big hit just because of the community support of these 3 communities.
I mean, big hit. We're in triple digits.
we've been sitting there, and I mean,
look at these views, man. Have you looked?
Yeah, from 8 to 9:32, it's always awkward timing, last minute. But I mean, all of you softball super fans too that have tuned in with us since game 1 of the season to now too, and
everybody
and sharing the love with it too. And
this is awesome.
The Austintown, the Canfield, and the South Range communities are 3 of the best in the YSN network as well.
As a softball junkie, I love it. I love the support that softball's getting tonight with everyone tuning in. I'm sure that it's not all Fitch, South Range, and Canfield. I'm sure there are members from other communities that are watching and supporting as well. And
there you go. Ursuline Athletics, what a great show. Yeah. And you know what? My man John DeSantis, it doesn't get much better than athletic directors over there at Ursuline too. And he doesn't pay me to say that, even though he tries to he doesn't pay me to say that. I always love my man JD over there at Ursuline. And guys, again, thank all of you for joining us tonight and helping support these teams. Fill up Firestone, support these teams, and be loud, be proud, and let them know what 330 and Route 46 is all about, huh?
Hey, it's a stadium. There's plenty of room. Everyone come. You can sit in the outfield if you want to. You can sit in foul territory. They have bleachers out there. There are seats everywhere. If you're a fan of the sun, there's seats in the sun. If you're a fan of the shade, you can go under the canopy for the shade. There's nowhere better than Firestone to watch a softball game in the state of Ohio. So get on down to Akron.
Folks, we're living in the good times right now, and you don't want to say you missed out on it a few years from now. Get out to Akron, support these teams, all starting tomorrow night with the South Range Raiders. Anthony, DJ, YSN's going to be there. Thank you guys so much for tuning into this show. Go South Range, go Canfield, go Fitch, go Matthews as well. We'll be seeing you in Akron.